What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I'm doing this piece because I did at least two pieces on the Surviving R. Kelly documentary that came on. And I think we all, somewhere in the belly, and I may have even said it in one of my pieces, just knowing me, that because now this Lifetime several night piece on him with the Surviving R. Kelly, that maybe there would be some other drudging up. I also know that I articulated at that time that if there had been something, if they had found anything in the previous court cases and all that kind of stuff, I said he definitely would have been behind bars already. But you didn't need me to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? We Africans up in this piece. You know what I'm saying? Or as fake ass slave ass Steve Harvey would say, we black up in here. We black out here. You see? And so we know he would have been under the jail. Under. And now that apparently there's something now to bring him to account for, we're put in the position, whether we like it or not, we're put in the position now to question the timing. to question the timing. Is this a twofer for the devil? Is this a twofer? Because this is Chicago again, everybody. We're dealing with Jussie Smollett. That's in Chicago. This R. Kelly, that's Chicago. You feel me? And by the way, of course, you know your boy, the Jedi, is from the south side of Chicago. South side! That's what I'm saying. Cook County Hospital, baby. That's what I'm saying. And let me just throw this out there too. Like, Cardi B alluded to it. I'm gonna go ahead and make the affirmative statement. Black History Month has been fucked for this year, everybody. You feel me? Not that I care about it so much, because you'll notice you didn't see me doing any pieces to acknowledge, oh, it's Black History Month and it's Black History Month and it's Black. I don't, what I'm saying, I don't get into that. I don't get into it. In fact, it makes me sick, quite frankly. It's one thing to have it, but it's not really being expressed. It doesn't have any meaning. It's more of a title, and a day off than anything. There's no profound meaning to it. Whatever the intention was to get this designated, or to have February designated as Black History Month, whatever intentions went into that, that's not what I'm addressing. I'm saying what it is now. Like there's nothing of value that comes out of it for us as a people. The most we get is these fake ass people on TV. They all of a sudden they love black culture so much. They have to have a Black History moment as they go to commercial, as they come back from commercial, and they'll tell you about some light-skinned black person that was the first to do this or the first to do that, somebody you ain't never heard of. You know what I'm saying? They questionable, because it's just, ironically, it seems like the majority of everybody they show seems to be, you got to squint at them to see if they black. You see? And I always tell you, my standard, if I got to squint, you ain't black. That's my standard. I don't need shit else. I don't need no instruments. I don't need no electronics. I don't need no technology. All I need is the two eyes that Allah put in my face. That's all I need. If I got to squint, you ain't black. I'm done. You feel me? We can't. Because when something becomes a pattern, then it's on purpose. It's not coincidental anymore, you see. Thurgood Marshall, light bright, damn near white, first black Supreme Court justice, you see. and you can just go from there, back or forward. Everybody's a first, but they're always light, bright, damn near white. So, whatever we think of Black History Month, even if it had been anything of great value and all that kind of stuff, this would definitely have qualified it. Even in those terms, it would have still qualified this as it has been completely, wrecked, for this year. Like, it's a wrap. I'm over it. You know, put a period, and be over it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Um, because everything is happening. You know, and I definitely don't appreciate it because this is the month of my birth. You understand? And so it's like, okay, it's Black History Month, and it's the month of my birth. Like, why y'all? You feel me? Like, I can't. Um. So, but the timing, because you'll recall, once again, citing Chicago, that they sat on the shooting of Laquan McDonald for over a year. You see, at least to the nation, you know. Maybe the shooting had been known of to some degree in Chicago at the time, but it wasn't the case that it became because the whole city colluded with the police. The whole city, up to and including the mayor, Rahm Goddammit Emanuel, to keep that evidence from the public of Laquan being shot 16 times. So, whatever we think of this and whatever we're going to find out as we read this, we hold that this timing is suspicious at the very least. The very least. I also want to be able to show contrast to the other piece that I'm bringing you with regard to this team owner. All right. Now, R. Kelly surrenders, charged with sexually abusing 4, at least 3 of them minors. Okay. Whatever. And this is from the Chicago Sun-Times, everybody. When I put in the search, I just put in R. Kelly charged or something like that. I typed in, and then you get all your search results that come up. I click. You guys know I always click on the article and I scan down to the bottom to see how long it is. That's it. I never read them because I want you to have a real-time experience with me as I go through them, and do the dissertation and whatever else we're going to find out. I mention that now because some of the other ones I thought were a little bit more attractive as far as their pictures and things like that. But I felt like I had to pick this one, regardless of its length or its presentation, because it is the Chicago Sun-Times, and all this is, this is where it's all going down. So why would I pick, like, another media's reporting article, So that's why I deliberately chose the Chicago Sun-Times, all right? And where's my cursor at? Is my battery going? No. Oh, there we go. God damn it, I thought I was under attack. This is by Sam Charles, Andy Grimm, and Michael Sneed. Or Andy Grimm, Michael Sneed, and Nadir Issa. More than a decade after surviving a high-profile child pornography trial, R. Kelly on Friday was back in police custody, this time accused of sexual misconduct with underage girls. Now, the embattled R&B singer was charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. He is expected to appear in bond court on Saturday, one day after Cook County prosecutors alleged in an explosive indictment that the abuse involved four victims, at least three of them minors from 1998 to 2010. Just a second now. Let's do a little bit of math, y'all. I can do the 2010 one easy because that would be 9 years ago. All right. Now, um, but I want to see what now. 1998, that would be 21 years. What are you doing, Jedi? I'm trying to see. I'm going to ask, is there a statute on sexual assault in the state of Illinois? That's the first thing that I'm inspired to do. You see, real time, everybody, real time. Is there a statute on sexual assault in the state of Illinois? All right, Illinois sexual assault laws. When an adult has sex with a minor, usually referred to as a statutory rape, it is considered sexual assault. Let me click on that. While this is coming up, I'm looking up on my phone, everybody. Shout out to all of the new subscribers. I am the Jedi. Welcome aboard the channel. And as I've mentioned before, if like some people, if they're a new sub and they, some of them leave me a message, or and in their comment they'll say I'm a new subby. I always reach out to you and type you something and personally welcome you and all that stuff. So to those ones, shout out. But some of you who don't or haven't, maybe just because you haven't had an opportunity, whatever, I'm shouting you out and saying welcome aboard. As I say, people are just flowing into the channel. Excuse me, flowing into the channel, everybody. And as I said before, I'm deeply honored because I never put up the big subscribe button on the screen, and I'm never saying make sure you subscribe, because our subscriber count here on this channel, because this is ours. I'm just the host. Our subscriber count here is organic. It came from each person who is represented in those numbers was touched by the information, the work, and they of their own accord decided to subscribe. So that's a testimony to the work. I also want to shout out to just my troops in general. I call my followers my troops, everybody. But shout out to my troops in general because a lot of people read comments, and so we really are blessed to have a outstanding bunch of intellectual thinking people on this channel. You can just read the comments and you see it. We don't deal in a lot of bullshit. You don't see people. We gotta call somebody a bitch back and forth and fuck you and we don't do all that. Um, there's a contribution to the information that goes on. People can just express their disagreements and all that, and we do that just fine. But that's something. So I say the information, but I also want to give a pop collar to you, all of you, because it's your feedback and your points of view and your getting involved in the discussion, etc., etc. And so, people read the comments, and so there are people that subscribe because they liked the comments, So that also plays a role. So welcome to everybody. Okay, this is not what it should have been, some kind of ad or something, y'all. Let me pick another one. I thought it was just giving me straight up Illinois state law on sexual assault. Why I'm doing this, everybody, is because I want to be. I'm inspired right at the beginning. As soon as I read this, the inspiration came to me. Wait, whoa, whoa. Let's see if maybe there's a statute, that maybe now they're violating or something. Because I've already cited that. I think the timing, at the very least, is interesting, even if it's not on purpose. Because like I say, the Jussie Smollett thing, and then now this. You know. Okay, well, this is still loading, so let me just go on reading, and then hopefully this is going to come up. Um, at least three of the minors from 1998 and 2010 to 2010. The minors were between 13 and 16, prosecutors said. Kelly is 51. Have they mentioned Kelly already? Oh, they're R. Kelly. Okay. I'm like, who the fuck is Kelly? Like they're introducing it as if they've mentioned it already. Okay. R. Kelly is 51. God damn it. All right. Surrounded by TV cameras, uh, Robert, we will call him, turned himself in to police about 8:15 p.m. at the Central District Station on the near south side. Officers inside the station handcuffed Robert and led him away. I want to stop and say this, you guys. You'll remember, those of you who have been with me through shutdown channels and everything else, from 2014, you'll remember that I used to highlight for you, and I still do. Whenever we would do police shootings and stuff like that, and then we would do something else that's not a police shooting. Anytime they're referring to a black man, certainly a black man, in a negative light, or they're criminalizing you, they always use just your last name. And I would cite there in previous pieces. I would point out to you that's saying something to the undercurrent. You see, I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure there's at least one case that I can't remember the details of it or what it was, but I'll just give you a random example so you understand what I'm saying, where they were talking negatively about somebody, a brother, and they just kept saying, and it was somebody that you would not use just the last name for, and they just kept using the last name, and I was making the contrast showing you how they've already declared him a criminal, because when you're an inmate, you're only known by your last name or your number. You see? So this pops out to share this with you again because it's along that same line. It's the same thing. I'm struck by it right now, so that's why I'm sharing it with you now. Remember, this is real time. I've not read anything, I don't know anything, and you're getting this as I'm getting it. So I just tripped my own self up when I said Kelly 51. I'm like, Kelly, as if they had mentioned somebody named Kelly already. And I go, oh, R. Kelly. Because that means in their mind he's already an inmate. Because was it too much trouble? Because they put R. Kelly up here when they said R. Kelly on Friday. Ba 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 ba. Then all of a sudden now he's Kelly. And there it is again, Kelly. You see, Kelly. That's code for inmate. You see? That's code for inmate, everybody. So, boom. That's what they're communicating there. Now he's just Kelly. Was it too much work to just put an R and a period again? That's on purpose. I always tell you, you're looking at something that's in print. There's a writer, a publisher, and an editor. You see? In this case, you had more than one writer, because they said, what did we say? It was by well, I read their names. Yeah, Sam Charles, Andy Graham, Michael Sneed, and Nadir Issa. So those are the writers, but you still have an editor and a publisher. They've decided what's on the page and how it's going to look, what pictures are going to be used, everything. You see, this is just up here. So Kelly, that's shade. Um, Kelly's 51. All right. So, and I read that part. All right. All right. After the singer's surrender, defense attorney Stephen Greenberg maintained his client's innocence, claiming all of Kelly's alleged victims are liars. Quote, I think all the women are lying. Yes, Greenberg said. Unfortunately, the state's attorney has now succumbed to public pressure. Greenberg added, Mr. Kelly, because this is his attorney speaking, and this in quotations, you see? So they're calling him Mr. So the attorney's calling him Mr. Kelly. There's your quotation marks there and here. You see? This proves my point. So we go on. Mr. Kelly is strong. He's got a lot of support, and he's going to be vindicated on all these charges. End quote. I want to stop and say this. That alludes to what I mentioned in my surviving R. Kelly pieces that I did. When and I think he's in a light way alluding to this when he says, unfortunately, the state's attorney has succumbed to public pressure. You see, so he's got to be somehow meaning the airing of the surviving R. Kelly piece. You see, and when did that air? You see, and so but now there's charges again. The timing is suspect. Everybody, we just can't ignore that. And damn it, we won't. Um, okay, this thing finished loading on my phone. Let me see. Well, let's go on. I don't want to interrupt the cadence for you. All right, and then I'll see what my findings are on that statute. Um, Now they just quoted the attorney, and he was Mr. Kelly. Now we're back to just their ass. Asked if Kelly is the man shown in three photos. You see what I'm saying? In the three photos purported to be from one of the alleged tapes of Kelly and an underage girl, released Friday afternoon by high-profile attorney Michael Avenatti. Greenberg said he doesn't trust anything Avenatti says, and that he's a lying whore. Okay, it doesn't say that. Okay, I'm being told in my ear. It does not say that last part on the. I'm being told. I'm being told. Being told. All right. Quote. I don't know if it's R. Kelly. Now we're back to R. I don't know if it's R. Kelly or not on those photos, but anyone can have photos. The attorney said. I don't put any credence in anything. Ha ha. I love his defiant tone. And that's the attorney there. Let's see. R. Kelly's defense attorney, Steve Greenberg, told the media after the R&B singer was taken into custody. Unfortunately, the state's attorney. Okay, fine. We know that right now. And then there he is in custody. Now we're back to Kelly again, everybody. You see what I'm saying? Kelly had left, and by the way, if that's new information for you, don't take my word for it. Start putting that to the test on everything you read from now on. You understand? I tell you, everybody, I know the things of which I speak. If I don't know it, I don't need to proclaim it. All right. Now he's back to being Kelly again. Kelly had, now, if this was a positive article about him, they would be this Chicago Sun-Times would be referring to him as R. Kelly. You see? Now, just like I'm sure that Jussie is now just Smollett. I'm sure he's just Smollett now. You see? Because in previous pieces before he was now the suspect, I'm sure it was the actor. You see? Mr. Smollett. You see, full name Jussie Smollett. You see, the star of the hit show Empire said thus and thus. Now he's just Smollett. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. All right. Kelly had left his near West Side studio about 7:45 p.m., surrounded by about a dozen members of his entourage and security guards, who left the building first and blocked out a path for the singer. Dressed in a bright blue puffy coat and dark jeans, they don't know a fucking bubble coat when they see one. I'm over it. Dressed in a, I can't, and this is Chicago. Like they don't. It's one thing you go out to fucking Arizona or something. They don't know what a bubble coat is. This is Chicago. All y'all do is cold. You don't know. You don't know a bubble coat. Like I can't. Moving on, Jedi. Dressed in a bright blue puffy coat and dark jeans, Kelly headed quickly to a waiting black Mercedes cargo van with tinted windows. He said nothing to the reporters who had waited outside the front of the building at 219 North Justin Street since shortly after the charges against him were announced. You see, they put his address and everything in there. You know. Quote, is he inside? Do you have him inside? One of the members of Kelly's detail shouted as Kelly climbed inside the van. Shut it, let's go. The van took off on Justine, followed by several other vehicles and news crews. Prosecutors had appeared Friday morning before Judge Dennis Porter, who approved a no bail warrant for Kelly, records show. A no bail warrant, everybody. At a conference Friday, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx briefly went through the charges against Kelly. Each count is a Class 2 felony. You see that? Each of which can be punished by 3 to 7 years in prison or as little as probation. You see, this states it even further because now, it says at a news conference, the state's attorney, Kim Foxx, briefly went through the charges against it. Should, if they, like, that would have been absolutely the most appropriate place to use Mr. Kelly against Mr. Kelly, against the singer, against, you see, but no, or against R. Kelly. But I'm showing you how they're going out of their way to only call him Kelly every time they speak. Kim Foxx went through the charges against Kelly. Okay, Fox answered no questions at the news conference. She threw the bitches shade and told them to get the fuck off her jock. What's that? I'm being told in my ear. It does not say that on the page. I'm being told by my assistant that in my ear, on my earpiece, everybody. I'm being told it did not say that. Again, I repeat, it does not say that. All right. Last Friday, Greenberg, the attorney, had told reporters outside Kelly's near West Side studio that Kelly would be cleared. Quote, he's going to be bound. He's going to go to bond court, Jedi. He's going to get out. He said they're making him a sacrificial lamb for their own sake, and there's no merit to any of this. Kelly has been dogged by allegations of sexual impropriety for 2 decades, charges that were first detailed by the Chicago Sun-Times. So they pop in their own collar. You see, he's been dogged by this shit for 2 decades, but they were first detailed by us. The indictment on Friday marks the first time he has been charged with any crimes since he was acquitted of child pornography charges in 2008 in a case that received international attention. In the 36-page indictment, 36 pages, prosecutors outline a variety of alleged sexual misconduct. The victims are identified only by their initials. Now, the fact that it's a 36-page indictment is very telling to us, everybody. Because prosecutors, we've heard the term, they can prosecute a ham sandwich. You need very little, like 2 eye droplets of some shit just to indict somebody on anything. The fact that it's 38 pages says to our legal eye they're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. You see? Throw everything at the wall to see what sticks. You see? Because you don't need 36 pages to indict anybody for anything. That's just the indictment. You don't need 36 pages. So that's what my legal eye says to us. All right? Or what this says to our legal eye. And so the victims are identified by their initials. All right. In one instance, Kelly allegedly ejaculated on the victim's body, quote, for the purpose of Robert Kelly's or LC's sexual gratification or arousal, end quote, the indictment says. Huh? Because that's the indictment. So they had to use his full gut, Robert Kelly. In the 3 other instances, the victims performed oral sex on Kelly, the document says. You see? Now they're not quoting anybody, so they're back to Kelly again. Avenatti said he recently provided a videotape to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Avenatti claimed the tape showed Kelly having sex with a 14-year-old girl. At a news conference in Chicago Friday afternoon, Avenatti said he is representing at least one of the girls who were included in the indictment. He declined to identify his client, noting she was a minor at the time of the alleged abuse. He also declined to say what his client told a grand jury investigating the singer. Damn it, I need these results on this damn statute. Kim Fox announced the charges against R. Kelly. Well, now we're finding out that's the sister. Well, we don't want to use the word sister here. Just, that's the chick. The melanated chick that is the state's attorney. All right. Today marks a watershed moment in the 25 years of abuse by this predator, R. Kelly, end quote, Avenatti said. All right. That was Avenatti speaking, so of course they said R. Kelly. He said Kelly. Damn, you just quoted him and you couldn't come back and use the R? It's on purpose, everybody. It's the shit I'm telling you. He said Kelly was able to get away with the alleged abuse for years because the victims were girls who weren't listened to and weren't valued. He's playing the sympathy card there, you see? That's the sympathy card. Like, it's in the tone of the Time's Up, the tone of Me Too. Girls who weren't listened to and weren't valued. We'll be right back. You see, it has that whole, you feel me? Like, come on, stop it with me. All right. These were the most valuable. No, these were the most vulnerable Jedi. Yet this predator, Mr. Kelly, preyed on them, end quote, he said. Again, that's Avenatti speaking. All right. And he ripped Kelly's enablers, agents, bodyguards, and other workers for Kelly, who quote turned a blind eye while this occurred over 2 decades. Avenatti said he turned over the 40-minute video shot in 1999 at Kelly's residence at the time. It allegedly showed the singer having sex with a teen girl. He did not say whether the video was part of the evidence used to indict Kelly. Quote, repeatedly on the video, both the victim and Mr. Kelly referred to the victim's age as being 14, end quote, he said. He added, this was in no way role-playing. It is clear that this young lady was 14 years of age during the time when it was shot. Asked if he had a message to Kelly, Avenatti said, quote, it is high time that you face justice for the conduct you have engaged in for over 2 decades and don't count on getting out of prison, he said, end quote. Shortly before the news conference started, Avenatti, that's your Avenatti asshole right there, all right. Avenatti tweeted out photos purportedly taken from the tape. In just a second, shortly before the news conference, he tweeted out photos. Well, that's a problem. But it's also a very good thing for the defense. Um, so Avenatti tweeted out photos surrounded, purportedly taken from the tape, and not only that, this indictment. So you don't he they haven't had a chance to prepare a defense. So you are sharing potential evidence with the public already. That's not good because then if I'm a good defense attorney, I will say this is prejudicial and is prejudicial and should not be allowed in. And all I got to do is show his tweeted photos and say, look, he tweeted them. Yeah, my client can't get a fair trial. And so if we're going to proceed with trial, we certainly can't use this because those are out there and this is prejudicial. So keep tweeting, homie. Keep tweeting. Tweet on. All right. In one photo, a superimposed arrow points to a mole on a man's back. When Kelly stood trial in 2008, his attorneys argued that he could not have been the man in the video played at that trial because there was no visible mole on that person's back. Well, you're tweeting out photos, and so that means that they're not pure, and so that you could have had a mole imposed on them. We don't know. Again, you shouldn't be tweeting fucking photos. I would argue any photos that have a mole on it, Your Honor, be stricken from this trial. And you can tell he's an overzealot. It's all in the chin. It's all there. It's all there. All right. The new charges against Kelly come less than 2 months after Fox, that's the melanated chick, made a public plea for new Kelly accusers to come forward so that the office could investigate. Her ass said she was, quote, sickened, end quote, by the accounts in the surviving R. Kelly Lifetime television series. The Sun-Times reported that at least 2 women came forward after Fox made her plea, although one later said she had declined to press charges. A Sun-Times reporter told one of the women of Kelly's criminal charges Friday afternoon, to which she replied, "Awesome. Thank God. That's a blessing. I'm so happy." After Kelly surrendered to police, Greenberg slammed the Lifetime series and Avenatti when speaking to reporters. Quote, everything in that documentary was a rehash of things they've known for years, Greenberg said, blasting Fox for being swayed by grandstanders like Michael Avenatti. Several media outlets have reported that Kelly is also under federal investigation as well as under investigation in other cities. You see that this is come on, you're muddying up the water. You see, this is akin to when you've been shot down by one of these white devil ass police, and that's bad enough. Now they want to show you smoking weed on Facebook, or ooh, there he is holding a gun, or there he is throwing up gang signs. You see, this is that same formula, everybody, from the same devils that exist on the fucking earth. You see, so boom, several media outlets, all run by fucking white people, have reported that Kelly is also under federal investigation as well as under investigation of the cities. You see? Piling on. Well, he's also under investigation over here, and look, he's doing it over here, and he's the worst person on earth. You see? Former Sun-Times reporter Jim DeRogatis Jim DeRogatis reported Thursday in the New Yorker that the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern and Eastern District of New York, along with the FBI and Department of Homeland Security, were investigating Kelly, representative for the federal offices, were investigating Kelly. Representatives for the federal office could not be reached for comment on Friday. Another investigation by officials in Fulton County, Georgia, is also active. though a representative from Fulton County Prosecutor's Office said there was, quote, no update, end quote, on the investigation as of Friday afternoon. Gerald Griggs, an attorney for the family of Jocelyn Savage, here we go, one of the women featured in the bullshit, told the Sun Times that the FBI has been in recent contact with the Savage family. Griggs tweeted, so Griggs is attorney for the Savage family. Uh, Griggs tweeted Friday, quote, after 2 years of extensive work, investigation, and a lot of prayer, my clients are hopeful that the recent charges against Robert Sylvester Kelly, bitch, will lead to justice. We are ready to travel to Chicago to reunite the Savage family with hashtag Jocelyn Savage. The charges filed Friday are markedly different from those Kelly faced in 2002 when he was indicted for 21 counts of child pornography. You see, now they got what 36 counts we said. Um so in 2002 when he was indicted for 21 counts of child pornography, and those differences are significant for the singer. The child porn the child porn charges Kelly faced were based on a video of Kelly having sex with a girl who prosecutors said was as young as 13 at the time the tape was filmed. But the alleged victim in the case and her parents would not cooperate with the investigation at the goddamn trial. The girls with and at the trial, the girl's parents denied their daughter was the girl on the tape. Prosecutors so far gave little information about the evidence that was used for the latest charges. Hmm. And why would they? Because I'm sure that because like I said, it's 36 counts, so they're throwing everything they can at the wall to see what sticks, and I bet you they're not commenting on it because most of that shit is shit that's already been used before. You see, and they don't want to admit that right now because if they had something really new and juicy, they can't wait to tell. Because look, everybody's tweeting. You see, Avenatti's tweeting out photos from the damn video and all of it. If they had something that had some fucking ass to it, they would fucking be announcing that shit. They got what? They got 36 things in this fucking case. They would at least tell you one of them. You see, but no. And there was what they say in the last one. There was how many in the last one? 20, 21 counts. You see. They're not anything to say. Prosecutors so far have given little information about the evidence that was used for the latest charges. Though those charges are felonies, they would seem to involve sex acts. Though those charges are felonies, comma, they would seem to involve sex acts, specifically, comma, sexual penetration of the allegedly underage victims' mouths and sex organs that could have led to more serious counts, including sexual assault or statutory rape. Avenatti on Friday said the charges were, quote, conservative, end quote, but praised prosecutors for quote a well thought out, end quote, indictment. Well, listen, that goes to what I'm saying, because that 36 counts stood out to my legal eye earlier in the piece. Everybody, now they're being very sort of catty and hiding their paw with these with this 20 whatever it is now, right? But this paragraph is very telling legally, all right? Because we know that Avenatti is an overzealot. I've already got that energy from him. He's an overzealot. He wants R. Kelly, you see, because this will be a good notch on his belt. That's what I sense. You see, I don't know the guy. I'm just finding out who he is right now as we're reading this. All right, but this is what the universe gives me. And so, what's key in this paragraph, let's highlight this. What's key in this for me is, first of all, they're giving little information about the evidence. All right. And then, after the period, this is a statement from Avenatti. though those charges are, or no, that's not from Avenatti, but whatever. All right. Though those charges are felonies, they would seem to involve sex acts. This is the Sun. This is the Chicago Sun Times now speculating. All right, before they quote Avenatti again. Now, though those charges are felonies, comma, they would seem to involve sex acts. That's a speculative statement. All right, made by one of the writers, one of these four people we identified earlier. All right, um, where the fuck is the bitch? Damn, we read all this. Uh, Sam Charles, Andy Graham, Michael Sneed, and Nadir Issa. All right. So this is just the reporting. This is speculative. All right. Now we'll start the paragraph again. Prosecutors so far. This is just the reporting. Prosecutors so far have given little information about the evidence that was used to get the fucking indictment. All right. I'll just translate some of it. All right. Though those charges are felonies, comma, they would seem to involve sex acts, but they don't know. All right. Specifically, comma, now they're going to give you an example. Sexual penetration of the alleged, and the sexual organs, All right. That could have led to minor counts. Wait, organs. That could have led to more serious counts. All right. Comma, including sexual assault or statutory rape, period. Now, that's their speculation. Well, these are felonies and they got so many counts, we'd assume some of them are sexual acts and therefore this and thus, right? Now we get to Avenatti. That was their speculation as writers. Avenatti said on Friday, said the charges were, quote, conservative. In other words, they don't have no meat and potatoes to them. Like I said, if they had something really hard hitting, not saying R. Kelly's not going to be found guilty or anything like that. I've not gotten to that point yet in my thinking. You see, I don't know we don't know, nothing has started yet. But what I'm suggesting to you is I'm just proving my argument that I've made already in the piece. And that's to say that if they had something, you know, I suspect they're going to drudge up previous shit. And that's why they don't want to show their hand. Because then the reporters would say, well, you've already used that. They don't want that right now. And they also don't want to show their hand to the other side that they really don't have a lot of anything new, right? And I suggested to you that if they did have something that was really a bolt of lightning, they would show it out of 21 or 36 indictments they're bringing, that they would share at least one piece of it, of what but they're not doing that. And then lo and behold, on Friday, the Avenatti says the charges were conservative. That tells me everything I need to know. End quote. Then it goes, but praised prosecutors for a well thought out indictment. End quote. You see? So basically, he just admitted they really don't have anything that's a bolt of lightning. But as a colleague, he's speaking in the public about his colleagues. So he's just saying, well done for what they are trying to bring. But there's no bolt of lightning there. You see? That's how I translate that shit, everybody. I'm over it. All right. Greenberg, that's Kelly's attorney, said at least one of the cases cited includes in the indictment. Just a second. Greenberg said at least one of the cases cited includes in the indictment, quote, I'm trying to figure out if they meant to say included. Let me read on to see if that should have been included. Greenberg said at least one of the cases cited includes in the indictment, quote, seemed to be a rehash of the conduct, end quote. he was acquitted for. Hello, boom. First of all, this should have been included. And what? This is the attorney for R. Kelly, everybody. He's saying what I just fucking said to you. The Jedi does his work and he knows his shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, don't bring me a legal argument. I will burn you. I will eat you for breakfast. You see? And so, boom, the attorney turns around and says exactly the shit I just said. He said at least one of the cases is some old shit. I'll just translate it that way for you. You know what I'm saying? He said at least one of the cases cited included in the indictment, quote, seems to be a rehash of the conduct he was acquitted for in 2008. And I would also go a little further, everybody, and say that I think that and when you add to Avenatti doing the tweeting and all that, they are going to try and get this conviction on a public conviction. What do you mean by that, Jedi? Because the climate now is different. The climate is different. When he was acquitted in 2008, there was no hashtag Me Too and Time's Up and, every award show, everybody's wearing ribbons and clothing items and making statements and all the shit and all the groups and the Women's March and and keep going. All right? It was a different climate. Excuse me. It was a different climate then. So, any conviction of R. Kelly is going to have to come from the public. So that's why Avenatti is tweeting out pictures and shit. You see? Because why would you give that when you haven't even entered the discovery phase of the case? The case hasn't started yet. We're just indicting right now. Why would you be tweeting out photos that could very well be struck down by a judge on an objection from the defense? And this is what would seem to be a key piece, because this would identify that's the mole and that's the dude. Why would you be tweeting that out? Because he don't care about losing that. He don't care if it's entered into evidence or not. You see? This is about trying to get him convicted in the public forum. So when that jury comes in there and say, oh, we don't know who R. Kelly is, it'll be some lying ass white people. We never heard of R. Kelly, and they go right in there and convict. You see, the climate is different now. They're counting on the climate. The social climate. Are you following me? You see? Then Greenberg says, well, who cares? We don't need to know what's in the indictment because at least one of the damn things included in it seems to be some old shit. So we're like, he's unbothered. You see? So he just said the exact same thing I said. And I say, I'm going further than Greenberg to say that the prosecution is putting a lot of their eggs on the gamble that the social climate now. The social climate. And then, in my mind, that almost helps to tie in the Jussie Smollett thing. It's not sexual assault and it was a hoax, but it has caused to drudge up at least the conversation and the thinking and to put it on the tongues of people about assault. You understand? Assault. And you heard the press conference that the police down there gave with regard to the Jussie Smollett thing. It was a moral lashing of Jussie. You see, and how dare you, and you're taking resources away from people that are really being attacked and blah, 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 blah. So the climate, everybody, the climate is in place, and they're now going to use that to try to get this man convicted. And that's why you also had Avenatti saying that the charges were, quote, conservative. In other words, no real teeth there. And he's tweeting. And they won't show their hand of the shit that they have, you see. But he praised prosecutors for, quote, a well thought out. And that's the part that's in quote, not the indictment part. Well thought out is in the quotations. So it's a strategic thing more so than an evidence-driven prosecution, I suggest to you. All right? Hopefully you understood everything I just said. If you did, type got it. All right. Now, double jeopardy should apply to everyone, Greenberg said, including R. Kelly. Just a second, because I've been waiting for this goddamn thing to load on my damn phone. Because I said at the beginning, I want to know if what's the statute on this? Illinois sexual assault laws. I don't know how this is low. I don't know. I can't see y'all. Sexual assault laws. I don't know. It's going to start random because I feel like something is being covered up on the page that I'm not able to see for some reason or something. But it just starts serious crime with serious consequences. The crime is committed when an individual commits a penetrative sexual act against another without their consent or ability to give consent. This includes sexual acts against victims who are underage, mentally disabled, or otherwise incapable of giving consent. In addition to rape, through the use or threat of force, when an adult has sex with a minor, usually referred to as statutory rape, it is considered sexual assault because the minor cannot legally give consent. Just a second, I want to see if there's a statute. Frequently involved, okay, violation of Illinois can result in 4 years to life in prison. Depending on the circumstances. You know what, you guys? How much more is are we done reading? Because I got a couple of videos I want to show you. Okay. Let me let the videos play and I'll continue to look at this. This looks like the legal pleading, immediate return. All right, fine. All right, let's go to our first video now. I'll let that play as I try to find the answer that I'm asking now of, is there a statute on sexual assault cases in the state of Illinois? All right, see this first video now.
These cases forward. I think one thing to note, Brianna, about the 2008 case is the victim that was in that videotape. She did not testify in that trial, and jurors who talked about deliberating on that case, that was a big issue for them. That was a sticking point for them, the fact that the victim herself did not come forward and testify. And they did talk about not being able to make a positive identification of R. Kelly. Based on what Sarah has said about this new videotape, that's not an issue. The issue of identification of R. Kelly appears to be not the issue in this new tape. But we don't know about this victim. We haven't heard a whole lot, Brianna, about this victim. Is this victim one of the people that testified before the grand jury that has indicted R. Kelly? Is this victim someone who's willing to come forward and testify at a trial? I agree that the R. Kelly documentary gave voice to so many women and gave women who had been victimized by R. Kelly, I think, the courage to come forward and tell their stories. And apparently the Cook County District Attorney was able to talk to some of those women, talk to other victims, and to have them tell their stories. And that's very powerful for what's happening today.
All right, Ariva and Clay, Sarah, if you could all stand by. We have much more on this ahead. We're actually about to hear the specific charges. We know there's been an indictment. We are going to hear more on the specific charges of that indictment. Plus, we have our breaking news out of Florida. The owner of the New England Patriots charged with soliciting sex, and a warrant is now out for his arrest.
And we're definitely going to look at that as well. All right. But let's go into our second video now. Now, just to as we go into this, just to keep in mind from that last clip that their previous issue was the jury had issues with the non-positive identity of R. Kelly in the video, and the victim would not testify in the case. All right. So Avenatti's already tweeted out a picture and they described in the article that with a bold arrow pointing to a mole on the person in the video. You see. So, but I already said that's subjective. You see, I could subpoena several photographic experts to come in and say that's been superimposed or it's been, photoshopped or whatever. That seems like an easy hurdle to at least throw doubt into the mind of a jury. And then the other thing is, she said that they don't know a whole lot about this other victim. You see? So the press hasn't been able to get to this person to eat them up and find out if they're going to testify or, whatever. So that's their hurdle right now. That's what the crux of their shit is riding on. All right? So, and that would even suggest that, yes, they are going to try and go the same route as 2008. Using the Photoshop photo and the climate, and then maybe they have a victim that comes forward now. You see, there's a strategy. All right, but let's see this now. And by the way, Gloria Allred, I cannot stand this bitch on everything I love. I cannot stand her ass. But we must power through her bitch ass in order to see this. All right, and then I will make my commentary as we go.
LL Cool J and R. Kelly were both performing in the concert.
Right out the gate, I gotta point out, everybody. Wait. Bear with me. Now, our girls and women don't dress like that as Muslims. Our girls and women are not hugged up on men who are not related to them. You see? We don't shake no hands. We don't hug you. We ain't trying to kiss you. Nothing. You're not related to us. You're not my mama. You're not my auntie, my sister, my daughter, my niece. I can't touch you. Just need to point that contrast out. You see? But they are your typical ungodly folks, and this is normal in the godless society to them and everybody else, quite frankly. But I just wanted to point that out. Let us go on.
Jay and R. Kelly were both performing in the concert. Just taking the extra. That club is no longer there. The
Look.
building
Look. So I'm saying, I can't.
on their lives. Latrice and Rochelle are very courageous to have made the decision to speak out now about R. Kelly.
So I guess that's supposed to be them in the photographs then?
Latrice and Rochelle
All right,
are
let's
very
see that one
courageous
time,
to
y'all,
have made the
because I
decision to
understand
speak
the
out.
context of why she's showing those people. Those are supposed to be these two women. I'm still working on that statute.
LL Cool J and R. Kelly were both performing in the concert. Just taking the extra. That club is no longer there. The building is. On their lives. Latrice and Rochelle are very courageous to have made the decision to speak out now about R. Kelly.
You may need to turn your volume up, everybody.
For years, they were embarrassed about what happened that night, and they were not sure if they should blame themselves for what happened when they were teenagers. Now that they are older and have become mothers, they understand that the person who was responsible is the alleged sexual predator, R. Kelly.
Wait, now hear that again, everybody. This is important, and this is why we're here. See that again.
They were not sure if they should blame
Just a
themselves for what on their lives. Patrice and Rochelle are very courageous to have made the decision to speak out now.
They've made the decision to speak out now. We've seen the pictures of them when they was just hot ass, you see. But let's go on.
About R. Kelly. For years, they were embarrassed about what happened that night, and they were not sure if they should blame themselves for what happened when they were teenagers. Now that they are older and have become
seen the Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly, I'll just add that in.
teenagers. Now that they are older
And have seen the Lifetime piece on R. Kelly.
And have become mothers, they understand that the person who was responsible is the alleged sexual predator, R. Kelly. He used his fame and the assistance of some of those who work for him to manipulate and victimize two star-struck teenagers who, prior to the night in question, would never have imagined that a celebrity whose music they loved would take advantage of them to selfishly satisfy his sexual desires.
Just a damn second. You see, it's very easy to get caught up in the hype, everybody, especially again in today's climate. There's that word again. But again, I'm here to turn down the background music. You see, yeah, sometimes you're watching somebody's video, or it can even be something on TV, but certainly it's some of these damn YouTube people, and they feel like they gotta have music playing underneath their whole damn video. I don't watch those videos. I usually thumb them down and bitch at them, and then I'm on my way. Alright, I'm here to turn down the background music. What is the background music, Jedi? The background music is the overall spectacle and hype and heightened sense of zealotness that can be instilled in the populace when they're exposed to sensationalized stories like this. You see, I'm here to turn down the background music. I'm also here to cut through what is normal to a godless society with righteousness and truth and what is real and factual. Not concerned about feelings and opinions. Now, these are two young girls. You saw how they dressed and how they posed. This says something about their character to me, you see. It says something about the character. Now, they go to an R. Kelly concert. Everybody know what kind of music R. Kelly make. Everybody know how R. Kelly display himself on stage. R. Kelly brings the sex wherever he go, whatever he's doing. You see? Brothers are happy to go to an R. Kelly concert in groups because they know it's going to be some hot ass females. R. Kelly going to get them wet, and we gonna try and holler at him when he done. You see? So now, let us also remember that in the background noise we're forgetting that nobody handcuffed these girls. They weren't abducted. They weren't drugged. They weren't hypnotized. And she just made an opening statement that it's him, and he's a predator, and he seduced them and for his own sexual gratification. You gonna tell me they didn't get no sexual gratification out of it? Because if they weren't getting gratification, then that means that it was then rape. But they went willingly, so we throw rape off the table. We can get into age and consent and all that stuff. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into statutes. But I needed to turn down the background noise on her opening statement. Hear it again.
Themselves for what happened when they were teenagers. Now that they are older and have become mothers, they understand that the person who was responsible is the alleged sexual predator.
The vague language. Who was responsible for what? Play it again.
To speak out now about R. Kelly.
They chose to speak out now about R. Kelly. Let's hear it again.
On their lives.
Oh, we're going to break this down, homie.
Latrice and Michelle are very courageous to have made the decision to speak out now about R. Kelly.
Speak out now about R. Kelly.
For years, they were embarrassed about what happened that night. And
they were embarrassed about what happened that night. So it was a night. She says that night. That's one. They're embarrassed about what happened. Well, what happened?
They were not sure if they should blame themselves.
They were not sure if they should blame themselves because nobody put a gun to our head. We weren't handcuffed. We weren't abducted. We weren't drugged. We weren't hypnotized. Let's go on. We weren't sure if we should blame ourselves for being attracted to R. Kelly and, damn it, going ahead and sleeping with him or whatever they're going to tell us. Let's go on. Turn down the background noise.
For what happened when they were teenagers. Now that they are older
and have seen the Lifetime movie
and have become mothers, they understand that the person who was responsible
for what? For them feeling embarrassed? Who was responsible for what? She does not define that thus far. The only thing that one can cite thus far from her opening statement is the person that was responsible for them feeling embarrassed. Making someone feel embarrassed is not a crime. Let us go on.
Is the alleged sexual predator.
And then she comes with this after that. You see, she said nothing up to now. Then she comes with this, the alleged predator who did it for his own personal gratification. And, and if you're weak-minded and not paying attention, you're left with just these few seconds of her opening statement. You're left with the impression that he did something major. I'm slowing it down and turning down the background music to show you ain't shit happened yet. You see? Well, I don't know what else she gonna say. But she ain't said shit yet. Other than these are women who were girls who were embarrassed. They've come forward to say they were embarrassed. And then the strong language. By a man who, what'd she say? Go on.
They understand that the person who was responsible is the alleged sexual predator, R. Kelly.
He was responsible for their embarrassment. And, by the way, she has said nothing about sexual anything as relates to them. They were embarrassed by the alleged sexual predator, but no implication of anything sexual with them. Just embarrassment thus far. Let us go on.
He used his fame. And the assistance of some of those who work for him. To manipulate.
How? Manipulate. You go to the local store for a bag of rice. It's $5. You buy it. Next week you're at Walmart. That same bag of rice is 50 cents. Whose fault is that? Were you seduced by the store that sold it to you for $5? I ask you this now. You see, you have to go through this with sobriety, everybody. Sobriety. Let's go on.
And the assistance of some of those who work for him to manipulate and victimize. Two starstruck teenagers.
Victimize them how? Through embarrassing them? Because that's all you've laid out so far, Gloria. That probably ain't even the bitch's real name. That'll be in the book, Jedi. You're getting off subject now. Damn it. All right. But now, just a second. Forensically, everybody.
And the assistance of some of those who work for him to manipulate
and
victimize two starstruck teenagers who
listen to R. Kelly, who makes all women wet. Women come to R. Kelly's damn show to get hot. Let's go on.
Prior to the night in question, would never have imagined that a celebrity
who prior to that night would never have imagined they would even met R. Kelly. But we're happy to do so. Let's go on.
Who, prior to the night in question, would never have imagined that a celebrity whose music they loved would take advantage of them.
Would take advantage of them so far just by embarrassing them. Take advantage of them. Go on.
To selfishly satisfy his sexual desires.
To selfishly satisfy his sexual desires. So they played no role in his sexual desire. In satisfying his sexual desire. Huh? Get to the part, Gloria, where he ripped their clothes off and told them they couldn't leave and they had to have sex with him or else. Get to that part. Let's go.
To R. Kelly, I'm sending this message.
Okay, now she's sending a message. Still no material evidence here so far. Two sisters sitting up there looking very like we don't know if we should be here anyway. This uses some stuff white people pull or white women pull 80 years after the fact and ain't shit really go on. We weren't raped, but maybe the Jedi's wrong. Let us go on. Now she's putting out a message to R. Kelly because she's tough.
You have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, nowhere to hide, nowhere to run, or whatever that song is. You have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. But she's not laid out anything that he's done. Listen, if her brother is smooth enough to get your damn silk panties off of you, how's that a problem? We're going to get to age in a minute and all that stuff, everybody. I'm just challenging you, intellectual. I'm challenging you to elevate you, bring you out of the fray, and challenge you to a higher plateau of thinking. Stop being lazy. Now the facts are, forget age for a minute. We've not gotten to that yet. All right, stay with where I'm at. Excuse me. I asked you again, because it's going on now as I speak. It goes on all day, everywhere. A brother or a sister, quite frankly. Either sister trying to get in the brother's pants or he trying to get in her pants. You see? Makes it a little easier when you're R. Kelly and you've got money and you're famous. You see, it just makes it a little easier. A little easier. You see? But if you that broke brother on the street, unless you look like a fucking model, well, you don't have to look like a model nowadays, so strike that from the record. But anyway, I'm just saying it's harder for the common man. R. Kelly's no longer the common man. He has an elevated status in the society. He's rich. He's famous. He can sing. You see? So, you can run, but you can't hide. What, bitch, for what? Let's go on. So far, he's only guilty of being seductive and persuasive. I hadn't seen that being named as a crime anywhere in the land. All right? How dare you be seductive and persuasive? Damn it, it's not a crime. Next case. All right, let's go on.
You have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
Fuck her.
You have been able to get away with your predatory misconduct.
Predatory misconduct, everybody.
For far too long.
You know, if you don't know any of the parameters of this case and you're just hearing this only, you're you just landed on Earth, everybody. You don't know anything about this case. You're assuming in your mind that something really heinous has taken place. She's using words like predatory. I'm seeing somebody in bushes at night. I'm seeing abductions and unmarked vans and things. You see? Sobriety. Sobriety. Let's go on.
Your predatory misconduct.
Predatory misconduct.
For far too long. And to date, the only ones who have paid the price of your misconduct have been the young women who allege that you have victimized them. Now, all of that has changed. Your victims are now surrounding you and crying out for justice. They are willing to face their fear and are no longer willing to let you get away with what they allege you have inflicted on them.
Well, what has he done? What is he getting away with? Please tell.
It is time for you to face the consequences of what you have done in our system of justice. There, your celebrity will not assist you in flying away from accountability.
Okay. 2 minutes, 14 seconds in, she's still not identified any crime that this man is guilty of. We're listening for it. And it's breaking news. We've not heard a crime articulated thus far in this piece. Let us go on.
Your time has come to face the many women who have suffered in silence for so many years. They are no longer silent, and their voices are being heard.
The man who let us into the room returned.
Okay, here is our Harvard grad who is going to speak most articulately, second only to Michelle Obama, and she's going to tell us now what went on, everybody. We're going to hear this. We're going to hear this.
No longer silent, and their voices are being heard.
The man who let us into the room returned. He had a walkie-talkie. He said, R. Kelly is getting ready to enter the room. Pull up your dresses. Rochelle and I did what we were told.
Boom. We were led into the room. He said, R. Kelly's about to enter the room, lift up your dresses. Get to the part where you said no, and he said fine. No. You went right to, we did as we were told. Listen, I have a problem with this, everybody. You feel me now? Hear this. Like I say, we turned down the fucking background noise. I'm all here to put my life on the line for a sister or a young sister that is victimized or taken advantage of. Any strike against our women or girls. I come from a family populated mostly by women, and I was raised by my grandmama. But I'm also a man who the truth is above all things for me in life. Because truth is godliness. You cannot love God or have any relationship with your maker if you don't love the truth. You can't. They are inseparable because they are one and the same. What she just articulated, you see, Gloria Allred just lays out this dramatic non-statement. You should be clear on that. Everything she laid out in that opening statement said absolutely nothing. We should all be able to agree on that at this point, because that's the truth. Now, this sister comes in and has so far articulated. Somebody come in the room and said, R. Kelly's about to enter the room, lift your dresses. She, without blinking, we did as we were told. Now, you would only expect that quick of a reaction if just before that she had articulated that men with guns had guns to our head and they were holding a live grenade. We immediately did what we were told. You see what I'm saying? We've all heard stories of people that were victims of bank robberies or home invasions or some shit. They came in, they told us to get on the ground. We did as we were told. They told us all to go in the other room. We did as we were told. They told us all to lay down. We did as we were told. All I'm hearing here is R. Kelly's about to enter the room. Lift your dresses. We did as we were told. I've got to call it like I see it. You were hot ass bitches there for something. And you weren't going to R. Kelly's house for a tea dance. Now, I'm willing to change my statements and thoughts as we move through this if they give me reason to. But that's where I stand right now. All I've heard is they are embarrassed. For what? That wasn't articulated. And now, R. Kelly's into the room and we did as we were told.
The end of the room.
Wait, we want to hear this clearly. Turn your volume up if you need to, everybody.
He had a walkie-talkie. He said,
that's just drama. You see, one of his people who had a walkie-talkie, that's to create ire and spectacle in your thinking. I'm telling you, stay focused and keep your pulse rate. Walkie-talkies don't mean anything because our eye is on the truth. You understand what I'm telling you? That's ire and spectacle. Throw that out. You didn't even hear that. Throw that out. Throw that out because that is background music. All right? Hear this now.
The man who let us into the room returned. He had a walkie-talkie.
I feel like this is not loud enough, but this thing goes to extremes, everybody. Oh, shit. What's my house volume? I'm at 30. It should be a little loud. Well, maybe I'm going to trust it and leave it there. Hit a walkie-talkie. That's background music.
He said R. Kelly is getting ready to enter the room.
R. Kelly's getting ready to enter the room.
Pull up your dresses.
Pull up your dresses. She changes her voice. Pull up your dresses. You see? Like, have a drink. You see? That's the tone she just used. I'm not making this up. It wasn't, pull up your damn dresses now. Pull up them goddamn dresses. No, pull up your dresses. Kick up your feet. Have a drink. You see? Do we agree on the tone? Hear this.
He had a walkie-talkie. He said R. Kelly is getting ready to enter the room. Pull up your dresses.
Pull up your dresses.
Rochelle and I did what we were told.
We did what we were told. Because it was a home invasion. It was a bank robbery. It was an airplane hijacking. Oh, I'm being told in my ear. Wait, I'm being told. I'm being told in my ear by my assistant who's via satellite in another part of the country. I'm being told in my ear that is not what it was. In fact, that was not what it was. I'm being told. I'm being told. We did as we were told. Like that.
He said R. Kelly is getting ready to enter the room. Pull up your dresses. Rochelle and I did what we were told.
Not Rochelle and I immediately objected and said, fuck that. We didn't come here to pull up dresses. I'm being told in my ear that's not what she said. She did not say, fuck that. We didn't come here for that. I'm being told that's not what she said. I'm being told she said, we did what we were told. And by the way, we don't have the benefit of knowing the atmosphere. What time of night was it or day was it? How long had you been there already? Was there alcohol or anything involved thus far? How much time had you already spent? I need answers, bitches. Let's go on.
Kelly is getting ready to enter the room. Pull up your dresses. Rochelle and I did what we were told. We were standing. We had panties on underneath our dresses. Then R. Kelly came into the room a few minutes later. The other man left right away when Kelly entered the room.
The other man left. So before that, you were alone with a guy with a walkie-talkie, not an AR-15. You see, not a live grenade. You were with a man with a walkie-talkie. R. Kelly comes in, he leaves, and I'm assuming you're alone with R. Kelly now. Let's go back and you're going to tell us.
Panties on underneath our dresses. Then R. Kelly came into the room a few minutes later. The other man left right away when Kelly entered the room. Mr. Kelly was wearing jeans and a white t-shirt. His penis was out and over top of his pants.
Okay.
When Kelly was alone with me.
Wait. Now you see they did a transition there. You watch it. Watch it.
Over top of his pants. When Kelly was.
Do you see that? There was an edit there. Well, what else did she say? Because you just edited something. Watch it again, everybody.
His penis was out and over top of his pants. When Kelly.
Now, right there, you don't edit there because now what was your reaction? There was an edit. You saw it. I'll go back again, everybody. There was an edit.
And a white t-shirt.
He's okay, James White, and his penis is up over top of his pants.
His penis was out and over top of his pants. When Kelly was alone.
An edit. Now, what is she saying?
Alone with me?
When he was alone with me. So you just edited out all the bullshit. Because the only thing that's supposed to come out of he came into the room, first of all, you should bitch should have been running for the door when he said, pull up your dresses. You didn't. You did as you were told, as if it was a home invasion or a fucking bank robbery or a fucking plane hijacking. Now he comes to the room, his fucking dick is out. And there's an edit? I need to hear the part where you said, get me the fuck up out this bitch now. And start doing windmill fighting. Now, I don't really want to give a fuck what happened when you were alone with R. Kelly now. Because how'd you get alone? Tell me when you guys were separated. Who separated you? Come on. I'm getting worked up. Hear this.
And over top of his pants. When Kelly was alone with me, he asked me to perform oral sex on him.
And what?
I was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol. And
wait, nah. You alone with him now. You can't get to this part. You got to tell me what happened when he came in there with his dick out. Huh? Because that's a bold-ass statement. For anybody walking in that state. You saw you a dude, a sister walking in, she just all of a sudden she come out the other room, she got a titty popped out. Okay, what you trying to do? What's up? What's going down? You see? Not an edit, and then when I was alone with her, thus and thus. No, bitch. No. Hey, just a second.
Perform oral sex on.
Wait, just a second. There's a key word here.
His penis was out and over top of his pants. When Kelly was alone with me.
When Kelly was alone with me.
He asked me to perform oral sex.
He asked me. He didn't command me, order me, make me, force me. He asked me. Turn down the background noise, everybody. Turn that music down. Now she's getting emotional. This is theatrics to me. I don't give a fuck about your tears. Because I'm not hearing anything. And a man's fucking life and his freedom is on the damn line. And his reputation in life. So if we're gonna take this seriously, goddamn, we're gonna take it seriously. Serious doesn't look like, oh, they just proclaim it and we believe them and just fill in the blanks of shit that's not there. No, taking it seriously means we rake your bitch ass over the coals to see if you stand up to the test of scrutiny. Asked me. You see? Asked me. Let's hear this.
This was out and over top of his pants. When Kelly was alone with me, he asked me to perform oral sex on him.
Alone. So now your girl done went someplace else. Where'd she go? How'd she get there? And why? But there's our key word. Asked me to perform oral sex on him. Asked. Because if it wasn't an ask, it would have been suck my dick right now. You feel me? Get your ass over and suck. You said, asked me. Asked me to perform oral sex. People that are making you don't ask you, could you please? You see? Asked me.
Kelly was alone with me. He asked me to perform oral sex.
Asked me.
On him. I was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol.
Which you had been before, because we could see by them pictures what type of ratchet you are. So she gonna add the alcohol and the marijuana. Now we gotta stop there because I need to ask you, your witness, Gloria. How did you get the alcohol and the marijuana? Was this given to you? Did you accept it? Did somebody force the blunt in your mouth and make you smoke it? And who put the funnel in your mouth and forced the alcohol down your throat? Tell us, bitch, tell us. I was under the influence while she's trying to conjure up tears that we're not buying. You see, we're only interested in the truth. Hear this.
I was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol.
So what? And alcohol.
And I did it.
And I did it. Now, but what else is important there that I'm hearing? She said she used the word ask everybody. He asked me. Then the very next thing she says is, I was under the influence of alcohol and weed, and so I did it. Not, I did it because he forced me. He asked me. And because, so we infer from her words, he asked me to do this. And because I was under the influence, I'm going to insert the word because, not her word, mine. And because I was under the influence of alcohol and weed, I did it. You see? Now, let me help you see this a little bit more clearly. Especially, well, we can all understand this, but I'll use my brothers. Let's change this now. It's not females, it's males. A brother walks into the room. And by the way, this is brothers and we're not gay. Brother walks into a room with his penis up over his pants. What say you, bruh? What's your move? What's your next action? What's your next, what do you do? What's your next anything? All right? That's first. Secondly now, he now asks you, because all the other stuff has been edited away. They did an edit, so we don't know what the fuck happened. But now suddenly you reappear and you're alone with the brother. And he's asked you. Not made you, forced you, put a gun. No. He asked you to perform oral sex. Then the next thing you say is, I was under the influence of drugs, and of marijuana and alcohol. And so I did it. What you think we're going to say? Oh, well, you did it then. You wanted to do it then. Nah, man, I'm telling you, I wasn't trying to do that shit, cuz. Nah. But, homie, you just say he asked you. And then you saying the reason you did it is not because he made you after he asked you. He asked you, and then because you were under the influence of marijuana and alcohol, you did it. So you wanted it. Just tell us. Now, let's switch it back to what it really is. That's exactly what we're dealing with here. I need to give you something extreme. You understand? So that my net would catch those who weren't understanding up to now. Now, so I did it.
I was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol, and I did it. He then had sexual intercourse with me.
Then he had sexual intercourse with you. Not, he then forced me to have sexual intercourse. We've not heard any of these words. He then had sexual intercourse with me. You done sucked the ding-ding. Because you was turned up.
He then had sexual intercourse with me, even though I did not have the capacity to consent.
Nah, bitch. That's language you're being given after the fact by that bitch sitting next to you. Because I'm listening to your grammar right now. That was not in your vocabulary. We got to see everything that's in front of us. You understand? Now she wants to use these $50 terms and shit. Let's hear it again.
And I have the...
Wait. I thought she was gonna say I didn't have no condoms. Wallahi, I thought she was gonna say that. I really did think she was gonna say that, y'all.
Me.
He then had we gotta hear it all. He then had sexual intercourse with me. He didn't force me.
He then had sexual intercourse with me.
And she's breaking down as if it was. We've not heard a crime yet. Wait now.
Even though I did not have.
Even though. Damn it! I keep hitting the wrong thing. He had sexual intercourse with me, even though. Wait. He then had sexual intercourse with me, even though.
He then had sexual intercourse with me, even though I did not have the capacity.
Even though I did not have the capacity
to consent.
The capacity to consent. Just a second. How does she mean that? Because we know that under the law deals with it, the language deals in sort of a para-contractual context. What do you mean by that, Jedi? It's saying that even someone who is of sound mind and all of that, the law says you don't have the capacity to give consent because we say you're underage. So you don't have the capacity or the authority to approve this act because it's only to deal with your age, has nothing to do with your mental capacity. That's what how the law is written across the fucking land. Now, so when she says that, does she mean as far as age? That's question one. Now, here's my speculative statement. Is she trying to imply that because I was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol, I didn't have the capacity to say okay? But, so were you under the influence when he walked into the room with his dick out? No, before he gets there. Did you have the capacity? Were you under the influence of weed and alcohol when the dude came in and said, with the walkie-talkie and said, pull your dresses up? Were you incapacitated then? Did you have the capacity, since we're using that word? Did you have the capacity when he came in with his dick out? Did you have the capacity when he asked you to perform oral sex on him? Because first of all, I really think no brother really wants you on them trying to give oral if you ain't coherent, because you bite down, it might be a reaction, a reflex that we didn't mean to do. So now we're at intercourse. Did you have the capacity when you were invited to wherever this is at? Now we're at the intercourse and you consented. Because what?
He then had sexual intercourse with me.
Because
even though I did not have the capacity to consent.
The capacity, because she didn't have the capacity to consent. You mean because you were intoxicated or because of the age? Go on.
When I first met R. Kelly that night, I was...
Wait, that was another edit.
The capacity to consent.
Did you see the edit? One more time.
Me. Even though I did not have the capacity to consent.
Watch. Boom. You see the edit is happening?
When I first met R. Kelly that night, I was very happy.
See?
And excited because I was young and I was starstruck.
And hot between the legs for R. Kelly. Just tell it, sister. We already know.
However, now that I'm an adult...
Well, you done leapfrogged over a bunch of shit. However, now that I'm an adult...
I feel hurt by what he did to me.
Really? Now that you're an adult, how'd you feel 24 hours after? Your Honor, I'd like to subpoena all of her girlfriends and classmates at the time that she met R. Kelly We'd like to bring those people in and cross-examine them about testimony she gave to them after being around R. Kelly when she told him how big his penis was. And girl, he did this and did that to me. I'd like to bring those people in, Your Honor, if we could just have a recess and I might gather those witnesses. Nah, heifer. You see what I'm saying? You're ruining it for fucking people that have legitimate shit. Your hot ass don't get to go there and enjoy R. Kelly. Now the hype is up. And you still a ghetto ass bitch, and now you want to come forward. I was hurt now that it took you to be an adult before you realized this now. I don't believe you. Let's go on.
But now that I'm an adult?
An adult? I don't know how to spell that, y'all. Don't ask me. Get them, it'll be in the book.
Now that I'm an adult?
An adult?
However, now that I'm an adult, I feel hurt by what he did to me.
Now you feel hurt. Well, that's fine, but you know what? You don't get to fucking send a man to jail because now you feel hurt. Over being a hot ass, little ratchet ass bitch back then and still now probably. And that's why you're a parent. You see what I'm saying? I'd like to know if the heifers are married. You feel me? Because you're a parent. So where's your husband at? Where's the father? Is he here?
When I was only 16 years old.
Oh, wait, and you were 16? You were 16. Get out my face. Next case, goddamn. Get this bitch out my face. Get her out my face. Get her out my face. Get her out my damn face. Do you know what I'm saying? We talking about us, everybody. This is a family. This is family talk right here. I'm not speaking for Latinos. I'm not speaking for Native Americans. I'm not speaking for fucking white people. I'm not speaking for Asian people. Fuck all that. We know our own. You understand? Where we at? 333. We knew from these fucking pictures right here. You feel me? We knew from the pictures what we dealing with. We knew.
When I was only 16 years old and under the floors of
I was only 16 years old. Nah, bitch, don't try and use that shit like I was only 3. You was 16, and your ass was a lot more wiser than 16. I can't, y'all.
Only 16 years old and under the floors of alcohol and marijuana, which was provided to me at this after party.
Provided. Not forced upon me. Provided. Get me to the point, bitch, where somebody made you do something. Bring me to that point. Give a fuck if they had, goddammit, lines of cocaine laid out, goddammit. You understand? When you tell me somebody made you do it, I will hear you. This was as if she was this naive, dumb 16-year-old. You're 16. You know what's up. She wants to act like she was this virginal, holy child who just came out the manger and walked into this and had no idea of anything. You listen to R. Kelly music at 16. This was provided for me. I don't got no sympathy for your fat ass.
However, now that I'm an adult, I feel hurt by what he did to me. When I was only 16 years old and under the floors of alcohol and marijuana, which was provided to me at this after party. I'm coming forward now because I feel this is the right thing to do. I'm speaking out because I want to encourage other victims who I know must be out there, to come.
at this after party. You took your ass to R. Kelly hoping to get a fucking invite to the goddamn after party so you could take your hot ass up there. Even if you wasn't gonna meet R. Kelly, you wanted to meet his security or somebody related to him or just some fine nigga at the dead girl. We going to the after party. It's on. Nobody forced your ass to a fucking thing. Get your bitch ass off the goddamn TV. And don't tell me about victims. You're not a goddamn victim. I'm sick and tired of this shit, everybody. These sort of instant victims and shit now that are popping up everywhere over everything. I'm a victim. You see? Nah. I'm standing at the gate. I'm standing at the goddamn gate and bullshit is not getting past. Fuck her. So other victims, you're not a victim, bitch. I wish some real victims would come forward. You get your bitch ass out the way so we can see some victims. You see what I'm saying? Cause all I see is a hot ghetto ass little tripe. You feel me? I don't see a victim. Where's the victims at? Maybe is the victim sitting behind you, or are they just off camera?
And under the floor is some alcohol.
Alcohol? Take your bitch ass to grammar class.
And marijuana was provided to me at this after party.
Look, and she states it like they gave me this. It was provided at the after party. How dare? Because the only thing supposed to be at after parties are Bibles and fucking communion crackers and fucking grape juice, everybody. How dare they have alcohol and weed at an after party for R. Kelly? Oh my God, where's my punch at? I can't.
I'm coming forward now.
Coming forward. We don't need you to come forward.
Because I feel this is the right thing to do.
To get me some money. And some notoriety.
I'm speaking out because I want to encourage other victims
Real
who I
victims.
know must be out there. Who I know must be out there.
You see, she's been told how to inject the drama on this, and she's illiterate. You understand? She's an intellectual failure. So they've told her where they want her to do her dynamics at, but because she's so fucking ridiculous and so fucking ghetto, she's not that sophisticated. You see what I'm saying? All she know is ratchetness. You know what I'm saying? And all that R. Kelly shit was right up her ratchet fucking alley. She has no credibility with me. None. Your words have no weight with me, 'cause you're counterfeit. I see. I don't need no bullshit. I won't put up with it. Hello.
Forward now because I feel this is the right thing to do. I'm speaking out because I want to encourage other victims who I know must be out there.
It's got to be some
who
real
I
ones
know
out there.
must be out there to come forward as well. I want justice for anybody who is a victim of R. Kelly.
Your words have no weight with me. Bitch, you were 16. A hot, fast-ass little bitch with a hot box looking to get some fucking penis that night. And you got exactly what you went seeking for. You don't get to come now 100 years later and say I was embarrassed. Because we've not heard the word sexual assault. He made me. I was forced. I was nothing. I said no. It was against my will. We haven't heard any phrases like that. And we won't. Listen, that is fucking Gloria Allred sit up there next to her, everybody. If those terms were usable here, that bitch ain't gonna miss an opportunity to use them. We've not heard any of that language. Fuck her. Fuck her. You understand? She's an embarrassment and a waste of time for real victims.
I want justice for anybody who was a victim of R. Kelly.
Here she go now with all these fucking bundles and shit. You know what? I just got hot seeing that. It looks like fucking a fur coat. I can't.
Now,
She done worked her tears up now. Watching the other one. She done worked her tears up. And look at how this fucking gnome ass bitch is all like, you see what I'm saying? I can't, everybody. I see through the bullshit. See this.
now, being a mother with children,
Why you gotta read it? I don't need to read the truth. It's my story. And something this traumatic, allegedly, I don't need to read it. This seems like a prepared statement for me. And the other one started out with, as an adult now, as a mother. And she's starting out the same shit. As a parent, as a mother. They're both starting with that shit. This is a script they're reading. Fuck both these bitches and the fat bitches that gave birth to them. May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest both they fucking armpits, and may they never get another man in their goddamn life. I'm over it. I can't.
being a mother with children,
Look, that's supposed to be the sympathy card.
now,
Listen,
must be out.
I don't care if you got kids now and you're a mother. That doesn't have anything to do with this. Get to the part that affects R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Give me something tangible. Show me some guilt. Show me a crime. Show me an attack. Show me an assault. Show me anything under your fucking dick hungry asses bitches being up in that fucking house wanting fucking R. Kelly's dick, and you got it.
Out there, who I know must be out there, to come forward as well.
Wait, let's get this other heifer.
I want justice for anybody who was a victim of R. Kelly.
now,
And you know what? So do we. When real victims show up. Not y'all bitch ass. Now here she comes. She done worked up her tears, but she's got to read. Hear this. By the way, I've not watched this, y'all. I haven't watched any of this. I haven't watched any of it.
now,
A lot of times with the video clips, I watch them because I need to know if I need all the clip, or sometimes a clip isn't the full clip of something. It's only part, whatever. But this was a short clip. It's only 4 minutes. And so I seen Gloria Allred. I thought it was just a press conference. And so this is real time for me. Like, I didn't watch this one at all.
now,
Wait,
being a
let's hear a fake
mother
ass.
with children,
Wait.
now, being a mother with children,
So what?
I feel I was taken advantage of when
Taking advantage. She's using words she can't even fucking spell. I'm over it. More further proof that this is a prepared statement. You didn't write it. Because why would you be stumbling over words that you wrote? Because that's not in your fucking vocabulary and you can't even read.
taking advantage of,
Take advantage of? Like, she's reading Yiddish. She's reading Arabic for the first time.
I was taking advantage of when I was a teenager.
Wait.
Taking advantage.
Damn it. You know what's throwing me off, y'all? This spinning
Being a
bullshit over there says
mother
breaking
with
news. I can't see
children.
my cursor that well.
I feel
So it's hard for me to get it on the line.
now,
It's hard for me to get it on the line and to do my thing, because it's like it's just fucking with my eyes. Hear this fake ass.
now, being a mother with children, I feel I was taking advantage of
Taking advantage of. She can't even read the word.
when I was a teenager.
When I was a teenager, she's reading it. Is this your story or not?
I just want justice for anyone that was hurt or violated.
But no specifics. I'm a mother and I want justice. Okay, what specifics? What happened to you? Oh, nothing. That's right, because you were a hot ass. looking for the dingaling.
I want victims to know it's not their fault.
I want victims to know. She didn't say other victims. So that's a Freudian slip right there. Because if you're a victim of anything, or you're a party to anything, you would say others. I want others. You see, she didn't say I want other victims to know. She goes, I want victims to know. You see what I'm saying? That means the real ones. Because my bitch ass is not a victim. I'm a bitch with way too many fucking bundles on top of my head is what I am. Huh? This is a shame, everybody. It's a shame. This is right up there with Jussie Smollett. You see?
No, it's not their fault. I'm speaking out now because I want victims to know it's not their fault. I'm speaking out now because I want to send a message to anyone who believes she was a victim of R. Kelly's.
Who believes.
I want victims.
And that's the end of it. Wait, who believes she was a victim? What the fuck? If you think you're a winner of the lottery, come down and show us your numbers. It would tell you if those were the winning numbers. Anyone out there who thinks they may have the winning ticket, come down. Not who was a victim. That's the whole problem in all this. And they just woke up one morning and went, I think I might be a victim. Let's call and see if we victims. You see? Nah, I can't do. We're not gonna do the other piece, everybody, because just of time. We're not gonna do it. I can't see doing it now. You know. Because the other piece that I was bringing was about this NFL owner, and I was gonna do some contrasting. That was just really. I don't need that. I don't need it. I don't need it. And I don't want to waste my time or yours if I don't need to, you know. But this is some bullshit du jour. Because as I laid out thoroughly in this piece, why the legal side of it's happening, what provoked that, the prosecutors and all that, why they're doing it, what their case looks like as far as I see it, excuse me, based on the information available to us now. It's just rehashing and counting on the climate. That's akin to this as well. You feel me? Because they came in, and because it's Gloria Allred, it's supposed to look like, oh, they really must be valid then, because it's Gloria Allred. Well, this bitch is an ambulance chaser. Fuck her. You see, and the bitch is a gnome. You see what I'm saying? And just to have black women get up there with this bullshit is even more unacceptable to me. You know, I'm here to be in your corner if you got something valid. But we gotta strike your ass. Strike you the fuck down on something like this, and you trying to pass forward some bullshit. We gotta come hard. We gotta come hard at your ass. Because how dare you? How dare you? Nothing was a crime that was described here. Nothing was articulated that they were forced to do anything. and honestly, that's how I feel like it's been with all these cases, everybody. Any ones that we know about and don't know about and won't ever know about and we'll find out, whatever. That's the situation. You understand me? The fact of the matter is, you know, listen, I'll use my own experience, you know, as an example. I've told you guys I had a lot of celebrity friends, you know, certainly back in the day when I was real tough into the entertainment industry. And one of my very, very good friends was Vanity. So As it turned out, all the time we knew each other, our relationship was platonic. Now, switch it. I'm like these heifers. I go to a concert of vanities. And somehow I get an invite to an after party. And I'm put in a room with somebody with a fucking walkie-talkie. And then they tell me, Vanny's about to come in, drop your drawers. First of all, I am up before they finish the word drawers, and my pants will be down around my fucking ankles. That's the truth. That's the truth. At 16, they already had fantasies about R. Kelly. Already. Girl, I wish he would ask me. And lo and behold, now you're at an after party. You did this shit willingly. Don't give me age. Throw that out. Throw that out. Because in my mind, age is a legal thing. Right and wrong is a moral thing. And you were old enough to know right and wrong. 6, goddammit, teen. Sisters at that. You was old enough to know what you want and what you don't want. What you will do and what you won't do. What's right and what is wrong. You knew it. And that's why you weren't able to articulate a single rhyme to me upon you by this brother in this entire piece. Even sit up there with this millionaire ass lying ass whore. I would encourage anybody listening to me, male or female, quite frankly, who has been a real victim of something that has to do with sexual assault. I would love for you to express your feelings in the comments about how bitches like this steal your credibility, make it more difficult for you to be believed. But more than that, if you don't type a single comment, what I would love for you to do is make your own video condemning these and any and all other bitches, male or female, that would come forward with frivolous shit that can't stand up to a breeze even. That they would come forward with shit like this. You understand? Trying to take a man down, playing a role in it, over something frivolous. Because if I'm sitting on any jury anywhere and I hear this, that's the part where I start looking at my watch and I fall off to sleep. Right there in the fucking jury box. Signaling that I'm over these bitches. You understand? Nothing has been articulated here at all. Nothing. And as I say, the legal case at best right now seems to be flimsy. And the last thing, I promise this is the last thing. The statute. I told you I would look at the statute to see what, like how long after the shit can you bring this shit. Incestual sex. Wait, let me go back up. Maybe I missed it. Homicide. Victim of theft. A minor or under. If that's a victim of theft, that's a minor. Or under legal disability. Then during minority 1 year termination. Misconduct in public office within 1 year. Discovery max 3 years. Extension. Incestual sexual conduct or penetration of a minor 1 year after victim turns 18. That's the statute. 'Cause 1 year after the victim turns with the statute of limitations runs out 1 year within 1 year of the victim turning 18 with a 3-year minimum. Sexual conduct or penetration in professional or fiduciary relationship, that's something else. So it seems like we're outside of the statute of limitations, everybody. Aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Well, that's not in this. 10 years to 2 years. If reported criminal sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual assault, none of that applies here. Predatory criminal sexual assault, aggravated criminal sexual abuse, or failure to report those offenses under abused and neglected child reporting act 20 years after victim turns 18. So unless they're going to try and reclassify this, the statute is over, bitch. Like, what are you bringing? Anyways, your homework, everybody. I encourage you to look up Illinois criminal statute of limitations. Excuse me. Look them up for yourself. Don't take my word for it, because I may be wrong on how it's written here and how I read it. But that's your homework. That way, the knowledge will be yours. So I'm over it. I want to hear your thoughts and feelings on all this, everybody. But like I say, these are some bullshit ass bitches to me. And how dare they? You see what I'm saying? And when it's all said and done, I would love to see R. Kelly or even his family or somebody bring, goddammit, civil charges against these bitches. You understand? For lying and being full of shit. I'm over it. This is the Jedi.